Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. We've got a good one tonight from Ames, Iowa. Top 15 matchup. Number 14, West Virginia, on the road to take on 13th ranked Iowa State. This Big 12 conference, which may well be the toughest in college hoops, including the number 1 team in the country, Oklahoma, tied atop the Big 12 standings with the Mountaineers. Iowa State a game behind as the 13th ranked team in the country. Hi, everyone. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon. Happy to have you with us. As usual, Hilton Coliseum sold out. It will be rocking. What isn't normal tonight is the opponent, because West Virginia is unlike any other team in the country. And, Miles, it's the pressure defense that makes them so unique.
Dave, it really is such a unique style of play. They press on the most possessions per game in the country, and this is how they do it. If you go by position right here, the 2 guys at the front of the press, those are your trappers. Their job is not to get steals, but to make the passes tough and get deflections. And then if you move on to the second level of the defense, here you have the interceptors. Their job is to anticipate where the next pass is going to go and play for the steal. And in this case, if TCU is able to manage and break the press like they did, then you have the protector, Brandon Watkins in this case, on the backside. He gets between the ball and his man, gets a deflection, and then all 5 guys were on a full sprint to recover in that case, and it's one of the toughest defenses to go against in college basketball.
And you mentioned, Miles, nobody presses more, nobody forces more turnovers than West Virginia, so it's a real challenge for this Iowa State team. They have some experience from last year. Even with that experience against the pressure defense, it is not easy. George Niang, have you ever been chased by a couple of wild pit bulls? That's what their press feels like. That was George talking about this matchup, and Monte Morris, they're like a pack of dogs ready to eat. So those are the 2 Cyclones who may be most equipped, even with those words, with handling this pressure.
Those 2 guys, 2 of the best ball handlers, 2 of the best passers in college basketball, will handle a majority of the load against this press. They'll inbound it to each other, and the versatility of Niang will be key tonight against the press.
Iowa State last year with West Virginia running the same style of defense. They beat the Mountaineers 2 times, and it was a blowout here in Ames. And as always, a challenge coming to Hilton Coliseum. It will be rocking. McKay and Williams at center court as we get set to go. Big 12 hoops, 2 top 15 teams. And here we go. Cyclones have the ball first. Monte Morris, who will be so key breaking the pressure, also so good in the half court, and the 2-man game between these 2, Niang and Morris. George Niang, first shot of the game is good.
And I think that's key, and I like that Crone went to his All-American in the first possession. George Niang, in the last 5 games, his points per game are down, only 16 per game, and his field goal percentage is down. Get him off to a hot start.
So now West Virginia forced to play in the half court. Their offense not quite as effective as when they can get in the pressure and find easier looks. That's a turnover. That's been a problem.
That has been a big problem. There is only 1 player on the West Virginia team right now in league play that has a positive assist to turnover ratio, and Coach Huggins talked about it today. Just sloppy with the basketball. We are not fluid and not making the right passes.
And I think you could read his lips there. Just hit him in the hands. Niang on the move, throws a lob. McKay couldn't dunk it, but he scores anyway.
And there you see, that's one reason why the Cyclones have so much success, because Niang at the power forward spot can handle the ball like a point guard.
Issa Ahmad, the freshman, to Devin Williams, big man who does have some range outside. There's Daxter Miles for 3, way too strong.
Daxter Miles has been struggling mightily this year from beyond the arc, only 26% on 3-point shooting.
Well, they leave Monte Morris wide open, misses the 3 though.
We had the game against Texas A&M this past Saturday. Monte Morris struggled from the field, 4 for 14, 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. But on this end of the floor for the Mountaineers, this is the guy that has to get going. Preseason all-conference, Devin Williams has to get some touches and get in double figures, 15 to 18 tonight, I feel, if the Mountaineers are going to win.
Nathan Adrian starting with Jonathan Holton, still suspended for this game. Shot clock starting to wind down. Williams gets rid of it and scores the first bucket for West Virginia.
Great drive and kick there, and that's an improved part of Williams' game, being able to knock down that 15 to 17 footer on a consistent basis.
Matt Thomas looking to attack. He's been playing well for the Cyclones. They are such a good offensive team. Thomas fouled by Adrian.
And Dave, something we have to hit on, there's a change in the Mountaineers starting lineup. Jonathan Holton, who's kind of their energizer bunny, maybe their best defender. He is the most important piece on the press as he leads the team in deflections. Has been suspended, didn't play against Florida Saturday. Nathan Adrian in the starting lineup. It makes a difference because Holton is so active, so long, and so athletic in that press.
And Bob Huggins, he's got a deep team. He's got a lot of bodies. That's a three for Thomas. But they missed Jonathan Holton, no doubt about that. Tariq Phillip almost immediately in the game off the bench. Got a touch. Williams. Now Phillip, who comes off the bench but is one of their most important players. Issa Ahmad, good move for the basket.
I really like Issa Ahmad, and I know the numbers don't show out to what type of player he is, but he's going to be a nice player in the Big 12. He has great size at 6'8", two-time Ohio Player of the Year out of Shaker Heights in Cleveland.
Carter went for a steal, almost got it. Morris finds Thomas again. Another three.
Matt Thomas is playing with so much confidence, the most I've seen him in his 3 years in a Cyclone uniform. And he's doing it on both ends of the floor. He's not just a shooter, but he's become an improved defender in his time here in Ames.
Again, the shot clock starting to wind down. Williams against McKay. Travels.
And this is where West Virginia's just ran into so many problems as of late. They're only averaging 67 points per game over their last 5. They've lost 3 of those games. But Jayshawn Page is an instant offense guy. He's having an all-conference type of season. Hopefully he can bring a spark to the Mountaineers.
So far, no problem with the pressure for the Cyclones. And Iowa State 4 of 5 from the field. Thomas tries it again. Offensive rebound for Morris. That's not a great pass from Niang.
Yeah, great anticipation by Adrian to back off a little bit and get his hand on that ball.
Jayshawn Page, another big-time scorer off the bench for Bob Huggins, is in. Williams shot fake with some contact, no whistle. Adrian cleans up the miss.
But I like that. I like Devin Williams looking to be aggressive and attacking from the high post. That caused 2 guys to come to him and leave Adrian open to pick up the garbage right there.
So far so good for Nathan Adrian. Niang trying to take him. That was pretty good defense. Nader open though. 3 no good. Phillip shot fake and went right by Morris. Again, no whistle, out of bounds off of Iowa State. Great start though for Matt Thomas and the Cyclones offense.
Well, Matt Thomas, one of the best 3-point shooters on this Cyclone team. Here, just able to create on his own and knock down the 3, and then says, you give me an open look, and I'll one dribble jumper into it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Well, Dave Fleming, Miles Simon back here inside the Hilton Coliseum, and it is a challenge for anybody who comes here. 72-6 over the last 5 years. The Cyclones at home, 17 wins against ranked teams. 10-1 this year with those 2 signature wins. Out of the timeout, I don't know why Nathan Adrian didn't go for the loose ball, but West Virginia has it with a fresh shot clock.
Well, there's where West Virginia really hurts you on the offensive glass. They're the 2nd best offensive rebounding team in the country at 16.5 per game. And most of the time they convert those into points.
Down low, Ahmad. That's another turnover. And that's, to me, that's where the turnovers kill the Mountaineers. And we talked already about how the turnovers have plagued them lately. Get a shot up, even if it doesn't go in, that's good offense for them.
Yeah, because they get 43% of their misses. So sometimes even their best offense, to your point, Dave, is just getting offensive rebound.
George Niang off the dribble, that little runner. Rebound Williams. So far, we're not seeing the same style pressure from West Virginia, at least early in this game, and maybe that has to do with Jonathan Holton not being available. And yet the Mountaineers are hanging in there.
Well, watch for this matchup. Matt Thomas, the much improved defender, and Jason Page, the best scorer on this Mountaineer team.
Monte Morris called for the foul away from the ball. So that's his first foul. There's Steve Prohm, who is the first-year coach, inherited a very good team. 3 wins against the top 25 and 3 signature wins for the Cyclones team until Saturday, where they went down to College Station and lost to a very good Aggies team, maybe the hottest team in the country over the last couple weeks. Williams offensive rebound, missed the putback. Abdul Nader. Thomas passed up the 3, now half-court offense.
Thomas wide open at the top. Oh, now West Virginia rotated.
A whistle and a foul against Page, trying to steal that entry pass.
Well, I was very impressed with Texas A&M. They did an excellent job defensively against this high-powered, high-octane Iowa State offense, holding them to 62 points. Made a huge run at the end of that game to pull out the victory.
And it was a much closer game than the final score indicated. Good inbound play. Then Nader missed the layup. Both teams have had some chances to score. Carter open. They'll get it back from Page on the move. There's Macon stripped. But Carter there with the defense knocked it out of bounds.
You have to be alert at all times against West Virginia, because even on misses, they're going to come after you. They don't care about the matchup in the half court. They feel anybody can guard anyone on the floor for the most part. So even off a miss, they're going to try to put some pressure on you and get a steal.
Niang catch and shoot. At Karam out to Nader. He'll try it again. George Niang. This one goes down.
Good sign for the Cyclones. Niang not shooting it as well from behind the arc in the last 3 games. Have been 1 for 11 coming into tonight. They're shot to 2 in a row. Didn't lose any confidence after missing the first.
Macon faces and hits the jumper.
He's much improved this year. Macon 45% from the field last year, up to 58 this year. You see the expanded range right there. Lost a lot of weight, has gotten in great shape. He's had some nice production.
I think George fixed his shoe there while he was dribbling, and that pass was a little casual.
He was fixing the strap on his shoe, then made the pass right after, but his teammate wasn't expecting it.
Monte Morris, shot clock starting to expire. Nice little tap pass. Nader, not a good pass. That one was kicked, though, and that helps the Cyclones.
And it really does, because the shot clock was down to 2, and now it gets reset to 15.
Phillip and Williams out. Miles and Adrian back in for Bob Huggins.
And Burton enters the game for Iowa State. He was a huge spark off the bench. Versus Texas A&M, was active on both the offensive and defensive end.
As soon as he comes in the game, he's looking to score. Catches the inbounds. Here's Thomas against Adrian, gave it up. Morris 3, good.
Dave, just a little flare screen by Jameel McKay, freed up Monte Morris, and then the perfect pass from Thomas.
Well, Page posting up, pretty nifty move. The ball just didn't go down. And again, we see that pressure back off from West Virginia.
And that pressure in the backcourt stopped the fast break opportunity.
The screen and roll, Morris and McKay. And instead he finds Burton. Good pass from Morris. Burton draws the foul. So Deontay Burton will be at the free throw line when we come back to the Hilton Coliseum. Iowa State with a 16-8 lead. Back in Ames, Iowa State has a 16-8 lead over West Virginia. Earlier this afternoon, Miles Simon was talking a little inside hoops with the Cyclone star point guard, Monte Morris.
I'm here with Monte Morris, one of the best point guards in all of college basketball, and he's going to show us why he's so great at using the pick and roll.
First off, I try to stay off the sideline, stay north and south, which is downhill opposed to east and west. First off, I look for the jumper. If it's not there, I know I got my skip, but my favorite one of all time, the lob to Jamil.
And that's what makes Monte so special. And now we see a great example of him using the high ball screen right here. His partner, Jameel McKay, comes up and sets the screen. And then he reads what the defense gives him. He gets corralled by 2 defenders. That means there's a guy open. He finds his partner, Deontay Burton, with the perfect bounce pass and is able to draw the foul. Monte Morris really special in ball screen situations because he's added a deep jumper to his game, which makes him more of a threat. Guys can't go underneath. He can turn the corner, as he has on a couple game winners this year and gotten into the lane. And then he's one of the best passers in all of college basketball.
So option number 1 wasn't there. Option number 2 was taken away. Found option number 3. Got Burton to the line. Burton missed the first. Now he makes the second. Monte Morris has been particularly good in these matchups against West Virginia. The numbers are really impressive in how he's handled the pressure.
Yeah, he played 70 minutes in the 2 games last year and only turned the ball over twice against Press Virginia.
Baxter Miles on the perimeter.
So right now, West Virginia are a little triangle offense. They put a guy at the high post, 2 guys at the block, just continually screening for each other. They've gotten some good looks in the paint, but just not able to convert.
Yeah, not shooting the ball well at the start of this one. Jordan Ashton, who doesn't play big minutes, is in off the bench for the Cyclones. Morris, that spin move through the double team, found McKay. So with a lot of point guards, that might be a turnover. For Iowa State, that was a dunk.
Perfect execution off the step-up ball screen on the side.
Biggest lead for Iowa State. Double figures for the first time.
Page has to get going. He's going to look to shoot.
Not a lot happening, so a long jumper for Macon. That's not a good shot for West Virginia. Morris found Burton. Burton! And West Virginia wants a timeout. An 8-0 run for the Cyclones. And we'll be back right after this.
Well, Iowa State doing a great job against this pressure defense. Monte Morris with the composure. He gets double teamed and then finds his partner, the best athlete on this team, Deontay Burton. No rotation, and the big throwdown for Burton.
Well, so far, everything going well for the Cyclones. They lead 21-8. The West Virginia guards, by the way, Miles, have not scored. It's been all big men. Williams follows his own miss. Down low, Page to Brandon Watkins. That shot blocked by Morris. Loose ball, and West Virginia lost it out of bounds.
How about the active hands from Monte Morris to come from behind right there with the block shot on Brandon Watkins. But the Iowa State defense, after their game against Texas a few weeks ago, where they gave up 90-some-odd points in an overtime loss, has gotten him better and better each game. They've been locking teams down. They've only given up 68 points per game over the last 5, 42% from the field, a more concentrated effort by the Cyclones team.
Called play from the bench. Morris gets it to Niang. One dribble, another bucket for George Niang.
And here's where Coach Prohm has kept some of the same principles and ideas on the offensive end that Coach Hoiberg had. A lot of isolations, a lot of NBA sets, trying to expose matchups. They feel George Niang can go at Nathan Adrian. We saw it the first possession of the game. We see it out of the timeout right there. Niang having a lot of success.
Page blocked by Burton.
Well, Burton just being so active on the defensive end. He's in the perfect spot, gets all ball right there, goes off his chest.
Now Page, almost a turnover for West Virginia. That's the first basket for any perimeter player for the Mountaineers.
But you see right now, they've almost switched up. They score a basket. Usually West Virginia gets right into the full court pressure. But now, right now, they're just content in the half court because they weren't able to generate anything off of it early.
Burton pulls up. Another bucket. That's 6 made field goals in a row for the Cyclones. Adrian, who has been shooting the ball well from the outside, passed up the look from 3.
Iowa State is just active on the defensive end.
Niang sagging off Adrian, so Page kind of works around that double team. Jayshawn Page.
He's been so good this year, averaging 17 points per game in conference play.
Niang, I think that was a push-off.
That was.
So he gets called for the offensive foul. That's the Cyclones turnover. Saturday, 2 big-time ACC matchups for you. Both on ESPN. Hopefully Coach K's back for Duke and NC State at 2 Eastern. And then North Carolina, Notre Dame at 7 Eastern. That's Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. Both on ESPN.
Notre Dame playing some better basketball. North Carolina got stymied by Louisville last night.
Miles under the bucket, scores a layup. So now the Mountaineers finally getting some good looks to go down on the offensive side. Be a lot of points in that Notre Dame Notre Dame's offense is tremendous.
Yeah, Demetrius Jackson, Zach August.
That could have been another offensive foul. Nader then missed the layup. He was uncontested. Here's Page, one dribble, had it poked away. Morris finds Jordan Ashton. Everybody's making shots. Jordan Ashton had scored a total of 15 points all year before that 3. There's a nice play to Daxter Miles.
Well, the whole backside was cleared out right there, and then the excellent read by Daxter Miles to go backdoor as he was being overplayed by Ashton.
And after they make some pressure, they got a deflection, no steal.
Going to the ISO in the post for Niang.
Little shot fake, travel. And I don't know about that one. They've been calling that against Niang a lot lately. Even with that turnover, Iowa State's offense has been tremendous against this excellent defensive team of West Virginia, and everybody's been involved. George Niang, their point guard Monte Morris, and even the big man Jameel McKay is not 100% up above the rim. 12-point lead for the Cyclones. Now Dave Fleming, Miles Simon here in Ames. Before the break, that travel, I wasn't sure. Watching the replay, it was a travel.
Yeah, it definitely was. His left foot was established as his pivot foot. He lifts it up before the ball hits the floor. Excellent call by the official.
Now that said, I think you and I both believe that George Niang's number will be hanging in the rafters at some point here at Hilton Coliseum. A lot of great basketball history here with the banners from the team success. They've had some great individual stars, and George Niang is going to go down. I think his number will be up there someday, Miles.
It absolutely should be up there. He is an All-American. He stuck around for 4 years. He is one of the greatest players to ever wear a Cyclone uniform. And their SID today, Matt Schultz, called him the president. I know we have the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, but George Niang is a very popular guy around this campus. And with Cyclone Nation, one of the favorite players of all time, and his production backs it all up.
Myers, who doesn't play a lot of minutes, had the ball stripped away, but then McKay saved it right to Carter, comes up way short on the jumper. And Morris wants to use the fast break. Nader out into the open. Another good chance for Abdul Nader. So he's missed a couple layups. Phillip, meanwhile, draws a foul. Second foul against Niang. I think Steve Prohm wanted a foul on the other end when Nader was challenged.
And Niang might have to come out of this game, and they'll bring Burton in now for Niang. And just remember, this was a problem on Saturday against Texas A&M. Niang getting into foul trouble, having to take their most versatile player off the floor. Now, Burton did give him quality minutes in that game, as he has tonight in the first half.
New shot clock. Williams scores baseline. Well, despite everything that's gone wrong for West Virginia, a lot of things have gone wrong. They're only down 10. They're still in this game. Deontay Burton to Thomas, who was open. Not this time.
And see, those are the shots that West Virginia will live with. I don't know if they necessarily want Thomas to be that guy because he's more than capable. But they want those quick shots so they can get the defensive rebound and try to get out in transition.
Tariq Phillip draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line. Tomorrow, our crossover day, college hoops and NBA. We've got all kinds of mixing and matching going on. Van Gundy, Vitale, Billis, Collins, John Barry, Fran Fraschilla.
Which crew are you looking forward to hearing from the most?
Well, Van Gundy, Vitale, that's hard to beat in terms of who's going to get the final word in.
I want to see my guy Jay Williams and Mark Jackson.
That'd be a nice pairing.
That'll be a nice pairing.
Jay was bragging in the studio about, in terms of playing success, he thought he and Mark trumped everybody. And I think
as they do.
I think they clearly do.
Billis was a 5th round pick. That's going way back.
Yeah, that kind of dates Jay a little bit. Sorry, Jay. It'd be fun. Fun day of college hoops and the NBA with our crossover crews. Deontay Burton pushed off. That's a turnover. And Williams might have sold it a little bit.
Now, Williams is a big, strong dude. And so is Deontay Burton. It's a good call.
Yeah.
Could Devin Williams probably have stood up and taken that hit? Definitely.
Yes.
But I give him credit for selling it and getting the charge and the turnover, and West Virginia the basketball back.
So Niang with a couple fouls. Now Burton with 2 fouls. Iowa State, a team not used to being in foul trouble. They were this Saturday in College Station. It cost them. It hurt them.
And here's something that Coach Prohm, in the travel, they give it right back. But Coach Prohm has played a little bit more zone defense over the last few weeks. Had been strictly man-to-man. Then after the loss at Texas, they implemented some zone, and during their winning streak, helps to save legs, a team that really only plays 7 guys on a nightly basis.
2 very different rosters in terms of how many minutes these teams play. There's some havoc, but no turnover. And Burton wants to take it all the way. Now he turns it over. Not a great outlet pass, and Thomas steals it away. I don't know what Issa Ahmad was doing. Morris pull up. Morris. Williams grabbed it away from McKay.
Here's where Iowa State misses Niang against a team like West Virginia, because their only true playmaker out there and best ball handler is Monte Morris. Niang is that second guy.
It's another block and a great pass from Burton. Morris with contact. He'll go to the free throw line. No dunk, just the foul. Foul against Javon Carter.
You know, I got that time to visit with Monte Morris at shoot-around for a while today, and he's averaging 37 minutes per game in conference play. And so I asked him, I said, you know, do you get tired out there? And he said, no, I really don't. And I said, is it something that you did extra conditioning during the off-season to get in great shape? And he said, well, since high school, when I went to Beecher High School in Flint, we played a West Virginia type of style at my high school. And my coach was big on getting us out to the track and running and being in great shape since I was in high school. And we were going to press for the whole 32 minutes. So he said, I've really just carried that over into my college days, and I really never feel winded out there. I get enough break at the TV timeouts.
And it shows. I mean, his game does not suffer. Leads all Big 12 players in minutes played. He'll get a brief rest here.
And right now, this could be big for West Virginia. Niang and Morris both out of the game, the best ball handlers. If West Virginia can get a couple hoops, set up their pressure, you bring in a fresh Hollis Cook and try to pressure him all over the floor and get him to turn it over.
So a key part of that is seeing the ball go through the basket, makes that pressure more effective. Williams spins out of bounds off of Iowa State. Turnovers have been a problem again tonight for the Mountaineers. That has plagued them recently. They've got 9 already in this game. Phillip almost turned it over. He did. That's number 10. And nobody is better in college hoops in terms of forcing him. Not that many teams are worse, though, in terms of committing him.
And it's just amazing how much better could they be if they actually could take care of the ball and not be sloppy with the travels and be able to just deliver the simple passes to each other.
Yeah, it has really impacted their conference play. They're still 6-2, tied for first place in the Big 12. Just hasn't been smooth sailing over these last few games. McKay will take it himself. The big man kind of got blocked by the side of the backboard. And I do think he's lost a little explosion. His knee is not feeling great. In transition, Carter way off the mark on the three. Page saves it back to Carter, though.
Well, you have to be so alert with West Virginia when that shot goes up. They have 6 guys that average 1 offensive rebound per game.
Jayshawn Page fouled. And you can see McKay sort of limping at the end of that play. So that's not great news for Iowa State. The good news is they lead by 11.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is...
Hi, Seth Greenberg and I will bring you the Land Rover halftime report. Buddy and company shine. No problem for #1 Oklahoma. They roll over TCU, and we'll go from TCU to the SEC. That's where Ben Simmons was outstanding and Kentucky was not. Those stories coming up on the Land Rover halftime report. Dave, back to you.
All right, Carl, we'll look forward to that in our Wendy's Wooden Watch. 2 of those guys that Carl was just talking about. I think Miles there is a clear front runner in Buddy Hield, but you've got these 4 as the next top candidates.
Yeah, and it's such a great group. And the thing that stands out to me with this group is 4 upperclassmen. You know, so much we praise and we talk about the young guys that are one and dones and gonna, you know, go to the NBA draft after 1 season. And Ben Simmons is a phenomenal player. But the other 4 guys on that list are proof positive that if you stay around, you stay dedicated to your game, work on your game, that great things are going to happen. Now, these guys obviously weren't ready to go after 1 or 2 years, but on that list, I think all those upperclassmen are going to be drafted in the first round. Chris Dunn and Buddy Hield probably go in the lottery somewhere. Utah is having a phenomenal year. And Denzel Valentine, before he was hurt, he was the front runner for National Player of the Year. So don't be afraid. Don't be in such a rush to get out of college. It's the best time of your life. Stay around, have some fun, and win a lot of basketball games.
Yeah, I think to me it has been a theme of this college hoop season. #1, the rule changes have helped open the game up. We have higher scoring, faster pace. #2, how the upperclassmen have played so well. And to me, that has defined this college hoop season. Plus the fact we've had a lot of entertaining hoops, especially in the Big 12. West Virginia hanging around this game. Jameel McKay, that's a carry. Well, that goes as Cyclones turnover. The good news is he doesn't appear to be limping. He's got that tendonitis in his left knee. Right before he went to the previous timeout, he kind of limped his way back to the bench. He's not 100%.
No, he's not. He told me today at shoot-around that he's about 85 to 90% for the knee, feeling healthy. And if you've never had tendonitis, it's kind of like you get a sharp pain when you try to make explosive movements when you're landing, you're trying to take off, or you're trying to push off. And it kind of stunts and it kind of shocks you as you're going through it.
Great pass from Carter to Williams with the foul. Beautiful assist and a chance for a 3-point play.
In West Virginia, they haven't played great basketball, but they're just kind of hanging around. It's such a tough group. Bob Huggins describes his group as the hardest playing group that he's had in quite a while. And I don't see the foul right there. They completely missed Devin Williams. I mean, Nader got him with a finger, maybe?
Yeah, they did call the foul against Abdul Nader. Williams converts. Niang 2 fouls. Deontay Burton has 3 fouls. He's on the bench. We already know it's not a deep Cyclones team, and the lead is only 6. Double team. Alice Cook back to Matt Thomas, who had it poked away and stolen by Carter, who saves it in bounds. Jayshawn Page scores. And the fans aren't happy, but we've got a 4-point game and a timeout for the Cyclones.
Relentless. Is this what this Bob Huggins team is? They don't give up. They continue to fight. It's a tough group. They get after you, and I told you earlier, you have to keep your head on a swivel. Look at Carter, was just kind of laying in the weeds at half court, almost waiting for the pass to be made to Matt Thomas. He gets his hand on the basketball. He saves it from going out. Excellent play by Carter, and then Jayshawn Page, the best scorer on this Mountaineers roster, is able to convert on the other end. And now all of a sudden the momentum has shifted. And Dave, the thing with this press, it's not what happens in the first 4 or 5 minutes of a game, especially in the Big 12. Teams are going to be able to handle it. It's can West Virginia wear you down and get you to make sloppy plays as time goes on. And that's what they've done here in the first half.
Yeah, you see those numbers. West Virginia has not used the press as much as they normally do. But a couple turnovers, only 2 of 6 field. The play has been ragged. When West Virginia's been able to use the press, the Cyclones have been much less effective on offense.
And because of this run now, Coach Prohm has to put George Niang back in the game with the 2 fouls.
They break the pressure, at least for now, with the pass. Iowa State fans unhappy with the way this game is being officiated. By West Virginia standards, there have not been many whistles. Niang, that could have been a travel. Instead, they call a foul. And it's Bob Huggins' turn to be unhappy.
And for Coach Huggins, he almost should be happy because there's only been 5 fouls calls on his team. Usually by the 2-minute mark, teams are in the double bonus.
Matt Thomas with the left hand, tough shot. Almost literally. Jayshawn Page steps through, scores off the glass. A 2-point game. Page has 10 to lead West Virginia. That was a dangerous pass. Thomas steps into the 2, missed the shot. Phillip boxed out McKay. Now Adrian, can he save it? No.
And Bob Huggins, he's telling Phillip, he's like, you threw it behind him.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? That was a bad pass. That was on you.
And even with that turnover, it's been an 18-5 run. The game was 25-10. Iowa State looking like a blowout. Not just the helter-skelter play. I mean, maybe that has contributed. Iowa State's missed their last 6 shots from the floor. Nader open. 3.
Good ball movement there by the Cyclones. The first option was to go to Niang, wasn't open. Ball reverse, open 3 for Nader.
West Virginia still has not made a 3. Iowa State's made 6 of them. Phillip on the attack, fouled by McKay. And McKay thought that was all ball.
Well, the West Virginia big guys did a great job of creating a driving lane right there for Phillip. They sealed their guy in against that zone. And as you can see, look at Adrian. He just seals off McKay. And McKay, a little contact on the hand right there, and leads Phillip to the line.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be called a foul, even if there wasn't a ton of contact. Phillip makes the first of 2.
Phillip has been so clutch for this team over the last couple weeks. Scored 22 points against Texas Tech, 8 points in the final 58 seconds on the road to help Mountaineers get a victory. He's second on the team in steals and assists. The thing that he's improved on the most is his decision-making this year.
By the way, Miles, apparently they did not call McKay for the foul. They called Monte Morris for the foul. Here's Miles off the steal. And West Virginia's within a point. That's a foul against Carter.
And I know Carter doesn't want it called on him, but that's only the 6th of the half. You can get right back into your press right now, Iowa State. And here's Niang. You never want to go behind your back against the pressure. Once you draw those 2 guys, you got to pick up that ball and make the pass to the open guy, because then you can have an advantage.
Niang has been a little careless in this first half. He's committed, I think, 4 turnovers now, George Niang. One-point lead for the Cyclones when it was looking like this was going to be a blowout. Now another whistle. They call Phillip for a hold.
Now that's the one you don't want if you're Phillip, because you have to recognize that you're in the 1-and-1 situation.
Yeah, that one hurts.
But there has to be communication by the West Virginia guys and the staff to say, hey, we have 16 fouls. Let's not get a dumb foul right here. Our defense has been good. We've been forcing turnovers. Let the ball come in.
What I find amazing about that number right there is that there are teams that commit more fouls. They're not last. That there are a handful of teams that foul more often than the Mountaineers. And they get Niang with the 2 fouls out of the game, and I guess protect him for the final 51 seconds. 1-and-1 free throws from Matt Thomas, who doesn't get to the line much, but when he does, he makes them. 14 straight makes at the line for Thomas.
Yeah, it's really amazing the improvement that Matt Thomas has had on the defensive end of the floor. We've been covering this league for the last few years, and that was the biggest drawback in keeping him off the floor his first couple seasons, is that he was a liability on the defensive end. But this year, the second half against Jared Uthoff, did an excellent job against him, made Buddy Hield work for everything that he's had in the Oklahoma matchups.
Made both free throws, so the lead back up to 3. Phillip, who has been really aggressive, goes back to the free throw line. That has changed this game. The West Virginia guards attacking. It's been Phillip, it's been Page, it's been everybody.
Yeah, and Phillip and Page, the guys that come off the bench, have almost been the best offensive guys as of late for this West Virginia team. You see Phillip, he just got the ball at top, ripped and went straight at Matt Thomas.
In and out. There are not many teams in the country who rely more on bench scoring than West Virginia. It's that tandem that you're talking about, Tariq Phillip and Jayshawn Page. Phillip, who saved the Mountaineers on the road in Lubbock against Texas Tech. He scored 8 points in the last 58 seconds. And they avoided an upset loss, made the second. And they back off the pressure here with a 12-second differential, game clock, shot clock.
And they go to 3-2 zone. Watch for Thomas to make himself available here.
Nader goes by Adrian, then a bad pass. Miles one-on-one with Morris, who has 2 fouls. Williams with the putback attempt, no good. Oh, what a great chance for the Mountaineers. They didn't take advantage. Now Iowa State can hold for the final shot. That one would have tied the game. In theory, they also could have backed it out and just made sure they got the final shot. Morris finds McKay. And what a finish for the Cyclones at the end of the first half.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the half that Monte Morris is one of the best in the nation at utilizing the pick and roll opportunities. Comes off tight, the little hesitation, and he delivers that pass where only his partner Jameel McKay can catch it perfectly in the front of the rim. And McKay throws it down to close out the half for the Cyclones.
Really a wild first half. Iowa State 25-10 lead. West Virginia ended the half on a 26-9 run. We've got a good one. Land Rover halftime report begins right after these messages. All right, Carl, thanks. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. As we get ready to start the second half, Iowa State 37-33. That's their lead over West Virginia. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon back with you. Looked like the Cyclones may be ready to blow out West Virginia, but they didn't do it. You were in the locker room with Steve Prohm and his team. What were the Cyclones talking about?
Well, the first thing that happens when you go in the locker room, the coaches are in one area and the players in the other. It's a very vocal players side. They really coach each other. Naz Long, who's out with injuries, and Monte Morris were 2 of the leaders in that group. But when Coach Prohm came in on the defensive side of the ball, doesn't want to give up penetration, and then they want to wall up on the inside and stop fouling their big guys on the inside. And then on offense, they got in too much of a hurry late in the half. He wants to slow down, have more composure, get ball reversals, and then watch in the second half for more middle ball screens for Morris and McKay and more post-ups for George Niang.
Well, you got to give West Virginia some credit for figuring out a way to get back in this game, because really the first 10 minutes plus, it was looking like they were going to be blown out of the gym.
Well, the thing with West Virginia, they just stay with what they do best. They offensive rebound. They got 9 of those. Iowa State only has 10 total rebounds. They turned Iowa State over 10 times in the first half, which led to some chances in transition. That's how they got back in the basketball game. And then Jayshawn Page, 10 points off the bench, was huge.
For Bob Huggins and his team, they got a chance for what would be a signature win on the road. This is a team, West Virginia, that is a game ahead of Iowa State in the Big 12 standings. They're tied with Oklahoma atop this tough conference. And here we go, 20 minutes to play.
Well, it's interesting that now the Cyclones, they were so effective in their man-to-man in the first half. They come out in the zone somewhat because of the foul trouble by Niang.
That could well be the reason. Iowa State in rare foul trouble. Miles open 3, too strong. Thomas board. trap of Monte Morris, but he dribbles away from the trap. That's not a great pass. Ahmad knocked it out of bounds.
And it'll be rare that that pass gets there from 35 feet out. West Virginia's too quick to recover.
21 to shoot for the Cyclones. Morris, the inbounder, was looking for McKay on a lob, couldn't get it to him. Abdul Nader was mostly quiet in the first half, gets fouled by Carter. We mentioned those standings in the Big 12, and part of it, look, we're still at the point where the schedules aren't even. Oklahoma, what's been really impressive, they're 7-2 with their win tonight against TCU, and they played a very hard schedule.
Yeah, they really have. They've gone to Baylor already, gone to Iowa State, and gone to Kansas, 3 of the toughest road games, as George Niang squares up and knocks down the three-point shot. But Oklahoma's not knocked out 3 of the toughest road games in conference play, and Kansas will be coming to their place in February.
Well, that will be a big one, that's for sure. As somebody, Oklahoma may be the primary, trying to end that run of Kansas in the Big 12.
Against this zone, they have to penetrate the zone just like they did in the first half.
Miles does get into the lane, draws a foul. Didn't finish, but Daxter Miles goes to the free throw line. Whistles were not as much a part of the story as we're used to seeing with West Virginia involved in the first 20 minutes.
It's very rare that a West Virginia opponent has more fouls than West Virginia in a half. And especially it being Iowa State, who is one of the teams in the country that fouls the least. They had 9 in the first half to West Virginia's 7.
Total reversal of what you'd expect. Miles made the first. Daxter Miles misses the second. That one is on the ground, and Miles rips it away. Phillip with contact. Williams offensive rebound, puts it in.
If you're Iowa State, you better be ready to battle and be physical here in the second half, because West Virginia has ramped up their energy and their intensity.
That was a nice job by Morris not to turn it over. McKay blocked by Adrian. Loose ball to the Mountaineers. Here's Miles against Niang with that foul trouble, and you could tell he did not want to commit a personal.
But this all started off the missed free throw. And Iowa State not blocking out. They keep the possession alive, and then it cost them on the other end.
Nader with a 3 with the assist to Morris.
And there's really where Abdul Nader's at his best. Coach Prohm talked to us about it at shoot around earlier, that he's great off catch and shoot off of penetration. Perfectly executed.
Shot clock under 10. Williams baseline jumper good. Devin Williams is coming alive.
And for Abdul Nader, why are you slow on the closeout? You got to get there to Devin Williams. It's not as if he has the quickest release in the world, and he's already proven tonight that he can make that shot.
Nader has a chance for a three-point play.
Right there was an emphasis in the locker room by the players themselves that against the press, they wanted to be more aggressive. Made basket by Devin Williams. They get it out in transition. Abdul Nader, who had trouble missing 2 layups in the first half, takes that one nice and strong through the contact.
So now a smaller lineup for the Mountaineers. Adrian comes out. Jayshawn Page will come in. That's 3 fouls against Nathan Adrian. Worth reminding everyone, no Jonathan Holton, one of their best players, still suspended, violation of team rules. Second game in a row that he has missed, and they do miss him. Page hands back to Phillip.
You see they're closing those gaps right now. Thomas getting a little bit more help.
Not this time, though. Page with the left hand.
He's such an explosive scorer, and they were actually fortunate to get Jayshawn Page. A couple years ago, Terry Henderson transfers in the spring. Jayshawn Page was originally committed to Southern Miss. They had a coaching change, and he became available. This looks like a great pickup, obviously, for the Mountaineers.
Niang spin move. George Niang lob a little too strong, but they'll call an undercut foul against Devin Williams, who's sort of shoving Jameel McKay out of the way. His first personal. One thing about Williams is he mentioned the one personal foul. He has stayed out of foul trouble, and that's helped Evan Williams be in more of a rhythm.
Well, the more he can stay on the floor, the better it is for West Virginia. Obviously, he's great on the offensive glass. He's become more of a back-to-the-basket presence. He hasn't showed it necessarily tonight, but he has showed the range 15 to 17 feet. He's knocked down 2 of those.
He's got the double-double and make it another rebound for Devin Williams off the missed free throw. 3-point lead for the Cyclones, but West Virginia ball. Williams, one dribble, finds the cutting Issa Ahmad. What a dunk. And now Phillips steals it away, misses the layup. Tip in is good from Miles. And West Virginia has the lead. That's the first time they have led in this game.
How about the play from Devin Williams to Issa Ahmad, and then Phillip, he's not celebrating. He's getting right back into pressure and gets the deflection off the inbounds. And then as Iowa State is just standing around watching, West Virginia converts that one.
Hilton's gone quiet for the moment. Niang, that runner, no good. Again, it was 25-10 Iowa State, looking like they were going to run the Mountaineers out of the building. Page, what a move there. Tip up by McKay. Page fights for it, but Nader. Niang on the break. Niang fouled. And they'll call that a foul on the floor, not a shooting foul. A timeout for us. We got a real good one. The Mountaineers hanging tough on the road and now leading by 1.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is
1-point lead for West Virginia. Dave Fleming, Miles Simon, and Miles, West Virginia really playing hard.
Yeah, they really are. Every possession right now, and that's why this game has turned around and in their favor. You're just going to see 2 plays from West Virginia. First, they get into the teeth of the defense, and Issa Ahmad with the big-time throwdown. But this is what I like the best. No celebrating by Phillip. He goes and is a one-man press. Now, he misses that. Now, look at Morris and Niang. Both of those guys just standing and watching as Daxter Miles goes in and finishes the play up.
And meanwhile, Jayshawn Page, who has just been on the attack all night long with the layup. This is the biggest lead for West Virginia. They didn't have a lead in this game, not one lead at all until about a minute ago. Now foul against Page. Trying to pressure the ball. Just a remarkable turnaround.
Well, Page just going coast to coast. Nader kind of opens up his stance. Jayshawn Page is a big physical guard, jumps right into it, no contact, and is able to get the easy finish.
That is Page's 3rd personal, so with 15 plus to go, Bob Huggins will take him out. He's had a lot of trouble staying out of foul trouble. Daxter Miles, who's played well tonight, back in.
Well, right now for Iowa State, they look totally disjointed on both ends of the floor. Where's the answer?
Morris, part of the answer, that's for sure.
You kind of go to your bread and butter right there. And then the halftime locker room promo talked about high ball screens in the middle. And Monte Morris uses it perfectly.
A quiet game for Morris as a scorer. He's got 7.
But here's where they have to get tougher on this end. They've been better the last 5 games. But their second shot defense has to be better against the Mountaineers.
Making one dribble. Couldn't get the roll. A whistle and a foul. And that one's going against the Cyclones. No, it's going against West Virginia. Mountaineers were starting to celebrate. That's Ahmad, though, with the personal. Well, now Bob Huggins, he thought his team was keeping the ball. Niang, lob, not a good pass. And Iowa State fans want a foul.
But that's all on Niang right there. Niang has a 3-on-2. Nobody stops him. He could have just laid that basketball up. He makes that lob pass so many times. Great anticipation.
Here's a 3, and it's good for Tavon Myers. The junior does not get big minutes. That's the first 3-point make of the game for West Virginia. Ahmad fouls Niang. So remember what we said about no whistles against West Virginia in the first half. 14 minutes to go, and Iowa State's already in the bonus here in the second.
And that could prove problematic, especially if you're putting guys like Nader, George Niang, Monte Morris, and Thomas on the line for the last 14 minutes and 11 seconds of the game.
Front end of the 1-and-1. He misses. McKay, offensive rebound, draws the foul. And that will drive Bob Huggins nuts. It also prompts a response. Devin Williams right back in the game. Daxter Miles called for his second personal. Front end, good. Makes 1 of 2. Here in the second half, Iowa State's 1 of 6 at the line. They did not shoot free throws well on the road on Saturday against Texas A&M. Ahmad goes baseline. I think he stepped out of bounds. No, he was pushed. He may have stepped out of bounds, but they called the foul.
Well, you kind of almost have to know scouting reports now. When you close out on somebody, if you're Nader, Issa Ahmad, only 2 for 14 from the three-point line. You know he's not a shooter. Wants to put that ball on the floor. You got to get down in a stance and shut off that baseline drive.
Fresh shot clock. Williams against McKay. A little help comes. Williams passes out of the double team. And a good look. Ahmad scores. Tavon Myers given quality minutes off the bench.
Well, West Virginia just getting production from anybody and everybody.
Now a near steal. Miles couldn't quite save it in bounds. Good effort from Daxter Miles.
And you can see Thomas just a little bit uncomfortable. And that's kind of what this defense makes you. Miles anticipates the crossover, gets on the floor, but not able to retain possession.
Thomas with Myers pressuring the ball on the inbound. 21 to shoot for Iowa State. Here's the guy who always seems unfazed by the pressure defense. Nader scores.
Smart. Kept the defense spread. Nice hard drive.
Phillip, Myers for 3, Miles rather for 3. Williams with the offensive board. Now Phillip will try. Good.
One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Nobody puts a body on Devin Williams. And one of the best times to shoot a 3 is off an offensive rebound when the defense is in scramble mode.
Thomas. Extra pass. Nader. Baseline. Abdul Nader. They call a blocking foul.
Well, West Virginia has a philosophy that Bob Huggins has installed since his Cincinnati days. They want to get inside and opposite of you. And that means they want to get inside their defender and opposite of where the ball is shot. Devin Williams does it perfectly there. Leads to the offensive rebound, which leads to 3 points for the Mountaineers.
And it's a combination of the effort, but then the game plan, the plan of attack. West Virginia, I think you would call them the best offensive rebounding team in the country.
No question, because it is every possession. It's 3 to 4 guys on the glass. And it's not just the big guys you have to worry about. The guards are just as lethal in getting their hands on basketballs.
And how about this one, Miles? Devin Williams has as many rebounds tonight himself as Iowa State has as a team. We've got 12 minutes to go. That's 28 minutes of basketball. Williams has as many rebounds as the Cyclones together. Phillip with that shot fake. Phillip, no good. Williams corrals the offensive board, missed the putback attempt. Miles grabs it.
West Virginia's just tougher.
Yep.
They want it more. They're more physical. They're pushing Iowa State around, and they're getting the basketball.
Phillip goes by Morris. There was a foul on the floor against Monte Morris, and that sends us to a timeout. Man, nervous energy inside Hilton. We've got an excellent game. West Virginia now ahead by 4. It is not easy to play here in the Hilton Coliseum, and fans like that, part of the reason why. 56-52. West Virginia has a 4-point lead. They were down 15 in the first half, and they have turned that around. With hustle, with effort, with energy, and some shots are going in too for the Mountaineers.
But it's really it's a resilient group, and Huggins loves coaching this team. He described it. They just play hard. They play the right way. He said he never has to like overcoach them or get on them too much in practice, that they're really a self-motivated squad that wants to be really good.
Williams down low. Spin move. Williams cut off by Niang. Finds Myers right back to Devin Williams. Off glass, no good. Ball tipped around, and finally Nader grabs it.
Best defensive possession they've had in a while. Niang moved his feet. He walled up on the inside, just like Prohm asked him to do at the halftime locker room. And then they get a defensive rebound.
And Deontay Burton not shy. Right off the bench, goes right to the bucket, out of bounds. It'll stay Iowa State basketball. Shot clock did not reset. Number 30, who is so talented, doesn't get huge minutes on this experienced Iowa State team.
On this end of the floor, they need a little bit more ball movement.
Morris, 3, no good. No ball movement that time. Look at the total rebounds. Devin Williams has a career-high 16. Iowa State as a team has 16. Just emblematic of the effort that Williams and his teammates are throwing out there. Miles loses it. 2-on-1. Morris to Nader, trailing, foul. Adrian thought he got his hands in there. 4th personal, though, against Nathan Adrian.
Well, they'll just bring in new bodies. West Virginia, one thing they're not worried about is really foul trouble or depth. They're going to play 10 guys, and they don't have much drop off from their starters to their bench guys.
Tenth team foul against West Virginia. We're talking double bonus now for the last 10+ minutes. This would have been 2 fouls anyway.
Nader missing these free throws. He's backing off the line. So he's shooting that basketball and he's going away from the hoop. If anything, when you shoot your free throw, hold your follow through and fall forward. Backed off again.
Yep. They are 3 of 10. Iowa State is in the second half at the line. 3 of 10. Hard to explain for such a good shooting team. Phillip shoots a tough 3, too strong.
Great rebound. Burton came from the other side of the basket out of his area to grab that ball.
Morris back to Burton. Now Thomas, 1 dribble. That's a 3, and it's good. Carter, good pass. Ahmad, who has finished above the rim all game long.
Well, Bob Huggins was calling for them to spread the floor, get their 5-out motion game.
Burton draws some contact, goes to the line.
And what they did on the offensive end, they just spread 5 guys out. And then you get a little bit of a penetration in the seam. Deontay Burton loses track of Ahmad, and the beautiful back cut, and then the delivery by Javon Carter, who's really just still learning the point guard position. This is the first time he's ever been a full-time point guard in his basketball career.
Much needed free throw make for the Cyclones after they went 4 of 12 at the line on Saturday. He needs some confidence at the stripe. Burton makes them both. Back to a 1-point lead for the Mountaineers. Travel. And Bob Huggins.
He might get teed up.
He may.
I thought that was good composure by the official there.
Yeah, Tom Eads gave him a warning. You stay back. And now he'll go yell at somebody else. Niang, Iowa State, a chance to get back in front. Niang all the way with the foul.
And George Niang can be so effective against this pressure because he handles the ball just like a point guard. He gets nice and low on that crossover where the West Virginia Cards can't dig down and steal it, and then cradles it and finishes.
Phillip wanted the ball. Good defense from Morris. Tough shot. Myers hits it. Wow.
Heck of a shot by Tavon Myers. He was a big-time scorer at the junior college level at Williston State College. 25 points per game.
Thomas from Niang. In and out. Good rebound by Ahmad. That one took a weird carom, but he managed to control it to himself. Myers, the dish to Macon, who missed the layup. Macon's had a lot of chances in this game. Has not really finished. Now Morris takes it against Ahmad, gets it rejected. Wow. Hilton is rocking. These two teams are competing, and we've got a tie game. 7:58 to go. Well, a lot of players have helped West Virginia come from behind tonight, but no more than Devin Williams. What a game he's having.
Yeah, he's been a man amongst boys tonight. 16 rebounds, 6 of them on the offensive end. He's just been a physical presence, outworking all the Iowa State front line, doing his dirty work all around the basket. And this is kind of a breakout game. It's something that West Virginia has needed because he has struggled mightily in conference play, only getting 9 points per game and only shooting 36% from the field. But tonight has been super active, and he's been one of the biggest keys in why West Virginia is tied with about 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, he plays like this. West Virginia's a totally different team. He only has 1 turnover. That's been a problem for him, so he's taking care of the ball.
And he stayed out of foul trouble. He's been smart on the defensive end about the way he's defending.
A game of runs. Iowa State trying to push back. Dangerous pass from Niang to Thomas. Shot clock at 16. Niang 3 from straight ahead. Too strong. Loose ball rebound to Thomas.
They should go right back to Niang on Williams. Or Burton in the post.
They tried to get it to Burton. Nice touch look to Morris. Nader wide open from Morris. And a scramble for it. Burton, who's playing hard since coming in off the bench, couldn't quite get it. Carter back in the game with some foul trouble. Page back in the game. He's had some foul trouble. Now Jayshawn Page. 2 is good.
He's instant offense. He's almost like the microwave Vinnie Johnson for this team. He can score, and he can score from anywhere on the floor. And he doesn't need time to warm up.
A way back reference from when we were kids, but a good comparison. It does not take him long to get going. Niang. Pass deflected and stolen by Page. 2 on 3. Page doesn't look like he's slowing down, though. He didn't. Rebound, Iowa State. Now Niang stripped. Loose ball. Thomas couldn't save it. It has gotten ragged, and that's the way West Virginia likes it.
Well, the last two possessions are so uncharacteristic for Niang. He drives the baseline. He didn't have anywhere to go. This time he forces it in transition. You see it's nothing but blue jerseys back right there, and he tried to force the action.
Well, he will come out of the game, at least for the time being. Miles, he's got 8 turnovers. 1 assist, 8 turnovers. That is very uncharacteristic. Page against Thomas. They like this matchup. I think they like Page against anybody. Page goes right by with the left hand.
I told you, he's just instant off. He can score from anywhere. He's having a great year for the Mountaineers. I love the patience right there. Waited for the pick to come. Dissected the pick and roll and scored it.
Burton into the corner. Nice look for Nader. 3. Timeout, Cyclones.
And I like the timeout by Chrome there. Here you see Burton handling the basketball. Doesn't force the action as Williams came to help. Finds his partner Abdul Nader wide open in the corner to cut the lead to 1.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And in part by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly.
Dave, Miles.
All right, Chris. Similar game, Indiana, Michigan. This one here, West Virginia looked like early they were going to get blown out at Hilton. Carter to the bucket. Carter, loose ball, Monte Morris. Here's Thomas, and a great anticipation from Phillip, fouled by Jameel McKay.
And that's actually a really smart foul by Jameel McKay, because that was going to be a layup for Phillip, and that's only the 4th team foul. And now you can set your half-court defense. But if you're Iowa State, you're disappointed. Matt Thomas has Abdul Nader streaking for a layup, but he throws a line drive pass instead of putting some air under the pass and throwing the lob and letting Nader run underneath it.
Burton comes out, Niang comes back in. It's not been a great night for George Niang. West Virginia's taken so much better care of the ball. That's a foul, and I think that's going to be a shooting foul. Well, no, apparently not. Call that one on the floor, so no free throws. Thomas called for his 2nd personal.
And right now, because the last 2 possessions for West Virginia, they're just clearing the right side of the floor and giving their guards the opportunity to just go right at the Cyclones in a one-on-one.
Williams goes against Niang, missed the shot, save into Thomas though. Iowa State ball down by 1, just over 5 minutes to play.
Niang's got to back him down.
Instead, he shoots right over top for 3.
Never mind. Never mind, George. You're the All-American. You do it.
He did it. Carter, bad pass. Well, we just mentioned how much better they'd taken care of the ball in the 2nd half. That's a costly turnover. Now that one's going to be off of Page. Wow.
And Niang's lucky right there. That was about to be his 9th turnover. Monte Morris was breaking back towards Niang. Niang saw an open opportunity and threw it just long.
I mean, George Niang is one of the best passers in college hoops. 1 assist, 8 turnovers.
Watch him going one-on-one against the freshman.
That crossover move, double team, scores anyway.
That's a tough matchup for Ahmad.
Timeout, West Virginia. Bob Huggins was trying to tell somebody to call timeout. It was so loud his players couldn't hear him.
Well, Dave, you almost knew that George Niang in Hilton Coliseum is always going to come up with a big shot. He has the huge height advantage. Page has his hands down. Niang squares him up with the jab step, knocks down the 3. And then he sees the freshman mismatch and goes right at him, soft off the glass. The All-American coming through down the stretch.
He's everywhere inside Hilton.
As he should be.
One of the all-time Cyclones greats. This has been a tremendous game. We still got a long ways to go. 4:36 on the clock. Well, while we have a moment, a chance to remind you, tomorrow's a big day on the football side of things. It's signing day. I tried to do the math. I think we got 11 hours of coverage across our networks. Signing day presented by Nissan tomorrow. Don't miss it. All right, back to hoops.
I think you go to Devin Williams or Jaysean Page have to get a touch.
Ahmad attacks, draws a foul. There was a whistle. It's no shock in this building. It is so loud, nobody can hear anything. Niang called for the personal, his third. He had 2 in the first half. He has avoided that foul trouble in the second. So now the freshman, Issa Ahmad. I think Miles has been one of the best games of his college career. He started every game for the Mountaineers, but in this environment, he's played well tonight.
Yeah, it really has. He's played under composure. He's had a lot of composure, played under control, finished his shots around the basket. He really plays within himself. He doesn't, even though he starts at the small forward spot, doesn't try to handle the ball a ton, doesn't shoot a ton of three-point shots, and gives his all on the defensive end.
Well, the one free throw make ended an 8-0 run for Iowa State.
Zone defense by the Mountaineers.
A different look here. Iowa State gets its offense organized. They screen against the zone anyway and get Niang the ball. George goes baseline. Touch pass, extra pass. Morris, 3. No good. Great ball movement. Shot didn't go down. Jaysean Page. Not that time.
Got to get somebody in the high post.
Morris will get in that area himself. What a move, Monte Morris. Adrian wide open, 3 for Nathan Adrian. Huge shot for him.
And Steve Prohm can't believe that they didn't get matched up in that situation after a made basket.
That should not happen. And give Adrian credit for pulling the trigger. Right in Niang's face. Spin move against Adrian. McKay, though, keeps it alive. Nader. Pass deflected. Niang off the deflection. Front iron. West Virginia can tie or go ahead. Page all the way scores. Tie game. Every time you think Iowa State puts some distance between themselves and the Mountaineers, here comes West Virginia. Here comes Niang. No good. Had some good looks. He puts it in off the offensive board. Williams draws the foul. And we've got a timeout in Ames. 1:55 to go. What a game. Iowa State 72, West Virginia 70. Back right after this. 2-point lead, Iowa State, 1:55 to go in Ames. As a reminder, tomorrow night, Wednesday night on ESPN and ESPN2, it's college hoops, NBA hoops. But with a twist, our crossover crews, Van Gundy, Vitale, Billis Collins, Barry Fraschilla, Williams Jackson. On Wednesday, all games streaming live on Watch ESPN. I hope they get the kind of games we've had tonight on the college hoops side with Kentucky, Tennessee, with this one here at Hilton Coliseum, where it is so tough to win. One of the loudest venues in the sport. Last 34 games, last couple of years, 32-2. Iowa State at home. Baylor, the only team to beat the Cyclones on this court in that span. West Virginia trying to do it tonight. And out of the timeout, 2 free throws for Devin Williams, who has just played a heck of a game.
Yeah, really a monster game. 11 points, 16 rebounds, now 12 points with that free throw made. But really something that Bob Huggins has really needed tonight, because Williams has been struggling in conference play.
To tie the game, he made them both. Tie game, 1:50 to go.
The Mountaineers come back to that zone, little 3-2 action, but they will follow guys through. They kind of match up out of it.
Morris to Niang, lob. McKay couldn't handle it. Right through his hands.
Pretty good pass. Maybe a little bit behind McKay.
I thought it was a good pass.
I want to see Jay-Sean Page or Devin Williams with the ball.
Williams has it, had it stripped away. Morris, one dribble, leaves it for Nader, who scores. Williams just being so aggressive. Page 3, good!
Wow.
West Virginia leads by 1.
What a shot by Jay-Sean Page. Hand in his face, no fear.
He's got 23 off the bench for the Mountaineers. Under a minute to go. Morris into the lane, open, missed it, and Williams grabs another rebound. Williams fouled. Well, Morris knows he had a wide open look. It didn't go down, and now Devin Williams to the free throw line after his 17th rebound of this game.
Monte Morris is upset at himself for missing that shot. So many times tonight he's gotten in the paint and spread that basketball out to three-point shooters. The West Virginia defenders fanned out, took away the pass, and then he just kind of short-armed the shot.
Meanwhile, you've been talking about Jay-Sean Page and the offense he provides off the bench.
Well, here the strip, maybe a foul on Monte Morris. Thomas with the closeout had the high hands, but Jay-Sean Page, he's a foot behind the three-point line. Nothing but net to give the Mountaineers the lead.
Just pure for Page. 23 points, 10 of 17 shooting, 5 rebounds.
And how about what a great bounce-back game for West Virginia. They got pummeled on the road at Florida. They were really never in that basketball game, maybe only for a few minutes this past weekend down in Gainesville, and now you come to one of the toughest places in all of college basketball, and you're taking it down to the wire with the lead with 41 seconds left here in Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah, much different story. Now, one thing to note, arrow favors Iowa State, but it's only bonus, not double bonus for West Virginia. That was the 7th team foul against the Cyclones. So Devin Williams, out of this timeout, is going to the free throw line. He just made 2 a moment ago, but this is a 1-and-1 coming up.
Yeah, and I'm wondering right after that miss by Monte Morris, did they not know how much time was on the clock, because they didn't need to foul with the 11-second differential. They could have played the defensive possession out.
They could use a miss here. Front end. Devin Williams earns the 2nd free throw. Hard to say how impressive he's been tonight. For a 3-point lead, he's made them all down the stretch.
Right now, if you're Iowa State, you don't need a 3-point shot. If it's open off the penetrating kick, you shoot it. But if not, try to get something going at the basket. Still plenty of time on the clock.
They are taking plenty of time. Nader goes to the basket, back out to Niang. Niang with the left hand, no good. Page rebound. Jay-Sean Page gives it off to Phillip, who gets fouled. Wow, now 22 seconds on the clock. And if West Virginia can make even 1 free throw, that puts them in a real good spot.
The adjustment by Bob Huggins to go to this matchup 3-2 zone. They worked on it in shoot around today here in the last couple minutes. Has thrown off the rhythm and the timing of the Cyclones on the offensive end.
Another huge front end for the Mountaineers. Way short. Rebound, though. Phillip gets it and is fouled again. He'll get another chance. And was that Devin Williams who got his hand on the ball?
That's Devin Williams.
That's all Devin Williams.
He was the only guy on the foul line. Now, right now, it's the job of Nader and Niang. And look at Nader just kind of runs by out of the area. I don't know what Nader was doing. He has to pitch down on Devin Williams. Williams wasn't even going for the basketball because he didn't want to foul. And he's able to deflect that ball out.
So a second chance for Tariq Phillip. Again, it's a front end. He makes it. That was the double bonus. So now the 10-team fouls, and maybe that made it a little easier. I mean, that was 1-on-4, and Williams got the hand on it to create this opportunity. Phillip took advantage. 5-point lead. Iowa State's got to go fast. Morris, runner, no good. Williams, another rebound. And Iowa State's not fouling. Now they finally do after a few seconds tick off the clock. And these fans are getting up and headed for the exits. Amazing.
Well, West Virginia has flat out earned this victory tonight. They didn't get down after they were down 15 points in the first half. They didn't get down on themselves. They continued to play their style of basketball. They forced the tempo and the pace of the game and to how they want it. And they just kind of imposed their will on the Cyclones.
Incredible.
They were the more physical team. They were the tougher team tonight. And I think they were the tougher team mentally and physically.
Kansas couldn't do it. Oklahoma couldn't do it. West Virginia is 9 seconds away from coming to Hilton and getting a win. And they can thank this guy. A career game for Devin Williams, the junior, who's been in a slump.
And for them to do this without Jonathan Holton, maybe one of their most important pieces on the press, and hopefully he can come back and finish out the year strong for this West Virginia team, because this is a team that can be very dangerous come March.
They were down 25-10 in this one. They'll let Nader dunk it. Now Page takes the inbound. No fouling from Iowa State. The final seconds tick off the clock, and the Mountaineers have pulled off the near impossible. They come to Hilton and get a very impressive win. Down big early. They come from behind and beat Iowa State. Final score 81-76. Coming up next, back to the studio for Miles Simon and our crew. Dave Fleming. Now back to Chris Hassel